welcome to 700 Club Canada. We're having a fantastic week this week, talking all about money. And actually, it's been less painful than I thought. Thanks to Mike Crofts and Jennifer Pauls. Welcome back, guys.
Great to be back.
The Money Coach Mike team. You guys have really, I think, brought hope and help to people where they often feel hopeless and helpless, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Practical tools. So today we're going to ask some of the most asked questions, okay? That maybe we haven't got to your question yet, but I'm going to fire a few questions off and see if we can get some answers. Here's the first one, Jen.
Right.
I'm too old to start saving, paying off debt, investing. Am I too old? Is the question.
Absolutely not.
Never.
Right? You're never too old.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, the sooner you start, the more time you have on the clock to take care of things. The plan will just look different starting later. So you're never too old to start.
Yeah.
Right? But it's about getting started. It's about realizing that there is a problem or a challenge that you want to overcome with your finances and then starting to create a plan, implement it, and make that change today. Don't wait another year or two because then how much less time is available.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you see happen to people that start later in life, Mike?
Sometimes you got to reprioritize what they thought retirement would look like, or down the road would look like, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. And so reprioritizing, getting focused though. This time, for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, being focused on what you want that outcome to be like, because what we're finding is pensions aren't enough.
Right.
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 Or don't exist.
Or don't
Maybe
exist.
we had this plan, but it isn't working out the way we'd hoped.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And so being able to be flexible but focused on what you really want, and then learning what you need to do to get there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the key, because sometimes we have something, we don't know really where it's taking us, but you have tools that help people project, I'm assuming, what it will look. If you stick to this plan, this is what it could look like.
This is the ballpark of what it can look like. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're never perfect, but we got a nice idea of where we can land. Yeah.
I think the goal, and you mentioned this earlier, Jen, keeping the goal in mind is what helps you stick to the plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because when you have something that you're focused on, you're more inclined to work toward it, especially if it's something that's really tied to your heart, like a dream, right? Because our dreams are good. Our dreams are from God. And so when we can focus on those, how can he not bless us when we're being good managers and prioritizing him and our goals?
So good. Okay, here's another one. I can't seem to control my spending. What can I do to help with impulse spending? Who wants to take that one on? Right?
Well, I think we got to get to the root of the impulse.
Okay.
And, that could be recent, that could be past history. So obviously we want to get to the root of it, or it will always be there. Not saying we have to fall into it, but it'll always be there kind of nagging at us. So if we can get to the root of the problem, that's obviously number one.
Yeah.
Number two, tools like a cash flow plan, like we've talked about.
Yeah.
Huge on helping you see where you're spending, why you're spending, where you're spending, all that. Having cash or a prepaid card like we talked about as well, so that you can't overspend.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't rack up what's not there.
Exactly.
Right? Those are some two great tools to help with the overspending. And
I think to your point, like the cash flow plan, i.e. budget, is like the way in which you see where you're spending, because oftentimes we just don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know where that money's going. But good news, you have a 5-day find more money challenge, right?
Yeah.
And you find people find a lot. Find how much on average do they find when they do this money challenge?
$250 to $500.
Really?
Yeah.
A month.
More per month. So that's an extra $3,000 to $6,000 a year.
Right.
When you add it all up. But yeah, about $250 to $500 more per month. Now some do more, some do a little bit less.
Yep.
That's the average here. But we focus on many areas, not just one, but many areas in your finances.
Right.
And so people find a little bit here and a little bit here.
Right.
Others find some right here.
Yeah.
And it usually adds up to about that extra $250 or so.
I love that. Okay, here's one more. Why not keep using my credit card if I pay off the balance each month?
Yeah.
I get points and perks.
I get the points, the perks, the miles.
Yes, but you're spending more. Statistically, you're just spending more because it's plastic, it's not cash.
Yeah.
You don't have that same attachment to it in your mind, right?
Yeah.
Where there's lots of great free programs where you can get points and perks.
Right.
Lots of those exist. You don't even have to use the store credit cards in order to get the points and perks, and you can still get free groceries, free gas.
Okay.
Right? Just if you're spending money on things that you were going to buy anyways, that's the thing. Don't let the points and perks be the driver.
Right.
But they're a great bonus on things you were going to buy anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, these companies, they spend billions of dollars studying you and me,
Right.
and how we spend and what draws us in, and so they know that when you've got points and perks. Some studies we found 12 to 18% more.
Yeah.
Others 300% more. Again, smaller items are the 300% more.
Right. Interesting.
And so when you don't have the option to do that, we found people tend to spend a lot less.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Last question. We're going to come back though. How do I get started? I know we've talked about this a few times this week, but I want to come back because I want you to hit on that one more time, okay? We'll be right back with financial coaches Mike Crofts and Jennifer Pauls. Join us. Well, this has been such a great week, you guys. I can't thank you enough for being here. And if you have not seen all these shows, I encourage you to go to 700 Club Canada on YouTube, our YouTube channel. You can watch everything there, right?
Let's do it, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
they can find you at moneycoachmike.com.
Yep.
Everything is there to learn. So here's the question we left off with. How do I get started? What does it look like, Mike?
I think for those of you that are in the beginning stages, we follow the steps, cash flow plan, then work on the debt. Don't work on the debt first.
Don't work on the debt first.
Yeah. Most people go after the debt and we say, let's do the cash flow plan. Let's see what we actually have.
Yes.
Then we use that for the debt.
Okay.
Pay off the debt, save the money, invest. And so we teach all that in the Find More Money Challenge.
Yeah.
And you're getting us coaching you on what to do, how to do it. Each day we walk step by step.
Okay.
We kind of build. Walk you through how to get started there. So that would probably be if you're ready to dive in, that would be the spot to get into.
Do the Find More Money Challenge, which is coming up just in a few weeks here.
Yep.
Yeah.
In September, you can join that challenge. You join online, right?
Online, yeah.
moneycoachmike.com and then you'll get
Find More Money.
Find More Money.
Yeah.
I think it's a great resource. We were talking earlier about the power, like the purpose of money is what? What is the purpose of money anyway? Is it just for our own benefit, Like God's given us money so we can bless others too, right?
Yeah.
Jen, what's the power of giving?
The power of giving is about having the kingdom impact and leaving a legacy. Right? What type of a story do you want to leave behind for your family, for generations to come? How do you want to impact your community? How do you want to be able to touch those ministries that are really important to you, that are close to your heart, that God's maybe put a call on yours? And so giving is such a crucial thing. And when you're getting out of debt, it can be hard to see giving as a priority. But when we do prioritize, it's incredible how God pulls through and can speak into you that way.
Yeah, there's some powerful stories.
Yeah.
Of people who in their journey of getting out of debt.
Yeah.
Should we challenge to give?
Yes.
Don't take that away.
Yes.
Keep that. Work with everything else, have to get out of debt, and what's happened, the story of impact in their lives.
Yeah, tell us one of those.
Okay, so we had one couple, missionary, wanted to go into the mission field, couldn't do it. Just too much debt, like they had, and so we started working together. And I remember encouraging them, guys, just keep giving. Do your 10%. That's where we're going to start. We'll use the rest for debt.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening to them is she lost her job, which was a setback. Found another one. Working on this other job. Someone comes in and says, "Hey, I'm looking for a couple that wants to go into the mission field. I want to give them a house to stay in for free until they can get out on their feet."
Oh my goodness.
So they're saving like $1,200 right there a month in rent, and it was down on the beaches in Toronto.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they got out of debt within 24 months. They're in the mission field now. I get reports from them all the time, and they're having a huge impact.
Yeah.
But they kept giving, and we said that's a principle. We don't, like that one principle to do another.
Yes.
We do all the principles.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
So good. You've both had an impact. Like, just circling back to your stories, what has this done in your own life as you've learned to manage this money, steward this money, teach others the benefit of it? What's the impact for you, Jen?
Yeah. Well, the personal impact is that we went from being broke with a baby to now our kids are in their teenage years and we are debt free, including our house.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
And it's opened up opportunities, and now we're no longer the one who's feeling like, oh, we can't give because we don't have.
Yeah.
Now we have the opportunity to be a blessing to others, whether it's in the kids' school, or there's a need at the church or the community. We have the opportunity and the option because we don't have the debt holding us back anymore. We've got the freedom in our finances to do some really cool things.
Yeah, that's beautiful. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I remember a time in my life where starting a business and taking that leap probably before we should have. There was months where I looked at the cash flow and said, we're not going to have enough. And I remember, I was like, am I going to get rid of this or that or that? And my wife said, just let's keep tithing. God's promised to take care of us. Wow. And we watched it happen every month. Opportunities showed up, or, we got through it. And now on the other side of it, because I remember being in that moment and God said, there comes a point where God said to me, like, do you want to keep being the guy that's getting the blessing, or you want to start to give it?
Wow.
And so I want to start giving it.
Yeah.
To be on that side. So being on the other side now, to be able to give to, like you said, organizations and needs and different things, and the single mom who doesn't have gifts for her kids for Christmas and little things like that.
Yeah. That is the joy of it, isn't it? And God is generous, and he loves a cheerful giver. Like, this is such an opportunity in our life when we're not burdened by debt, weighed down by money. It actually is actually a gift from God to grow us in our generosity and to bless others, which in turn, we all know it's better to give than to receive.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
feels better.
Yeah, I can't thank you enough for being here. Next steps, I'd say get to moneycoachmike.com, sign up for the Find More Money Challenge. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. No, it's a great community to come and hang out in, and we would love to serve you and help people with the questions that they have and overcome that negative mindset.
Tough love.
Right?
Yeah. A little tough love.
Little tough love. Come on, you can
we
do
all
it.
need it. We all need it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. What a blessing. You go to 700club.ca. All the information is there. All the links to Jen and Mike are there. Wow, what a great week. And we have free resources for you ourselves. So call us at 1-855-759-0700, and we have 3 financial resources we'll give you. Well, after the break, Matika overcomes personal and financial hardship and finds lasting peace.
After 9 years in an abusive marriage, Matika Garrison took her 3 kids and moved out, and soon found out how expensive it was to make a break.
I probably spent close to $25,000 to $30,000 on legal fees.
On a few occasions, Matika had to choose between paying her attorneys or her mortgage. To avoid losing custody of her children, she chose the attorneys.
I think the hardest part for me was when I think I had missed 2 mortgage payments. I got letters in the mail that they wanted to start foreclosure on my house.
Matika emptied her retirement account to save her home from foreclosure, and her divorce was finalized 2 years later. But because she was the primary provider, having a steady job in IT, the court did not mandate her ex-husband to pay child support.
I would take money from wherever I could, cash advance off of a credit card, wherever I needed to get money from. That's how I would pay for it.
Matika had to go on hardship programs to raise her 3 children.
My purpose of being here is to provide a stable environment for my children. Something's really wrong. If a mom can't provide a stable place for her children to be and to feel comfort and relaxed and a sense of home.
A few years later, Matika was still paying off legal debts when she had a major health crisis. It was breast cancer.
For every procedure that you have, you get 3 bills, one a facility bill, a doctor bill, and one for whatever anesthesia or technician you have. I went through 27 weeks of chemo and 7.5 weeks of radiation.
Earlier that year, Matika had made a decision to start tithing on a regular basis. In the face of this new challenge, she continued to trust God.
I believe it's God's consistent when we are consistent.
A few months later, Matika earned a promotion at her job. That new salary helped her pay down the last of her debts and medical expenses. And best of all, she's now cancer-free. Matika is doing better than ever, and tithing has become a part of her routine. Now she's building a legacy of giving in her family.
If you begin your tithing, you will see God move in your life. You will see a hunger for the word like never before. It starts by taking that first step of faith. It is so awesome to be able to give openly and freely and actually show my children. It is phenomenal.
Well, there it is, the beauty of being able to give. Matika, wow, she's experienced some of the most difficult setbacks in life, from a divorce and having full financial responsibility for the children, to then a health crisis and medical bills. But she trusted God and consistently gave throughout all of those trying times. It's amazing, isn't it? And wonderful to see how God provided. And all the lessons, too, that her children are seeing lived out in their home through those challenges. You know, Jesus talked about money almost more than any other topic. In 11 of his 39 parables, he uses money as a tool to reveal our true priorities. In the Sermon on the Mount, he makes this point in Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 to 21. Don't store up treasures for you here on earth, where moths eat them and where rust destroys them and where thieves break in and steal. Store your treasures in heaven, where moths and rust cannot destroy and thieves do not break in and steal. Wherever your treasure is, there the desires of your heart will also be. There it is, right? His point is that if we really believe that this life is not all there is, we won't invest all of our time and finances into accumulating stuff. Instead, we're going to pour our energy and resources into things that will go into eternity. And they include helping other people and investing in other people's lives. And that's the way we need to live financially free. It's not, it's really the freedom to love and bless other people and to give to the kingdom of God. We have free resources for you. Been offering these all week: Financial Success, a guide to personal finances, and a guide to financial freedom. All you have to do is call us 1-855-759-0700, and we'd be really happy to send these to you. Well, now this is how prayer helped Josh and Liz overcome their own financial struggles.
During their first year of marriage, Josh and Liz Lockman saved enough money to move from Indiana to Redding, California, where they enrolled in Bethel's School of Ministry. But before long, they were running out of money.
We went with a lot of faith that God would do great things, and it actually turned out to be very hard. I was stressed out about finances like most of the time.
Josh kept trying to get jobs while we were in Redding, California, and no jobs were coming.
We really felt like if we didn't get financial provision, we'd have to go home, down to less than $5 and starting to get behind on some of the bills.
When there was income, Josh and Liz were always faithful to tithe, a discipline they both practiced since they were young.
So it wasn't ever a question of, should we stop tithing? No, we knew, like, you honor God first, and then he'll take care of everything else.
With only a few dollars left and bills continuing to mount, they stayed up all night praying for a miracle. The next day in class, God answered their prayer when their teacher, Chris Valentin, made an announcement.
Anyone that is going to go home if money doesn't come in, stand up. And so Josh and I, of course, we stood up.
And then Chris Valentin asked the other students to give money to the ones that needed it.
And a bunch of students swarmed us. And then from then on, we had, more miracles and just a consistent flow. Miracles just kept coming.
I mean, it was a direct answer to prayer. So, and we got enough money to encourage us and to keep going.
He definitely showed up. Yeah.
They finished the year of school and moved back to Indiana, where Josh got a job in construction. Still, they lived paycheck to paycheck. Frustrated, Josh turned to the Bible for answers.
I'd get verses on financial provision, write them on 3x5 cards and memorize them, meditate on them. I saw it was his will in his word to provide and bless his kids. And I started to have faith for that.
So with new confidence, they once again turned to God for help when they needed an idea for a second income.
And we both knelt down together by the bed, and we asked God for a second income. I saw a picture in my mind of a honeybee, and Josh saw a picture of a honey stick. And we saw it separately, and we'd never talked about beekeeping before.
What God was speaking to me was that honeybees would be a second income.
They began keeping bees and selling honey. They then moved to the Atlanta area, and Josh added bee removal services. Soon, the business was thriving.
At the time, I had no idea what it would become. It was just almost started like a hobby more than a second income, but it grew it beyond my wildest expectations.
So what happened is we tripled our income, so from what we had before.
Josh and Liz believe their success stems from their commitment to trust God and tithe. One ministry they give to is CBN.
We know in God's word that it says, give and it shall be given to you, pressed down, shaken together. And so for us, when we give to God and we look for good ground where we're like, that's a good ministry to give to, we know we're gonna reap a good harvest. And when we have access to his generosity and we can ask for anything, we end up becoming generous. And we end up seeing that we could never outgive God, ever.
As they look to the future, Josh and Liz believe God will continue to provide as they trust him with their lives and finances.
I'm just confident that he'll provide and I don't have to worry. He says, seek first his kingdom and everything will be added unto you. And I found that to be very true.
What do I enjoy most about what I do? Well, that's easy. I love connecting with people, especially when someone says, I am so glad I can talk with you. I really need prayer. That's God's perfect timing. I talk with people all the time who want prayer for a family situation. Sometimes it's prayer for an emotional or physical need, or even a financial breakthrough. It's so amazing that I can share about God's love and encourage people. I love this Bible verse, for it is God who works in you to will and to act in order to fulfill his good purpose. God is at work. I've seen him answer prayer. Won't you call today? 1-855-759-0700. God bless you.
Well, there's a lot of people across our nation that are struggling relationally, struggling financially. And we know that the answer to all of life's problems is found in Jesus, and knowing how much he loves you, that he will provide everything you need. Will you help us get the message, the good news of Jesus out across our nation? Become a 700 Club Canada partner today. There's different giving levels. You start at $20 a month, or a level that better reflects what you're able to do. And when you call 1-855-759-0700 and become a partner, you'll receive a free copy of The Shepherd King, and you'll also start receiving our monthly newsletter, Frontlines. Take a look at this.
Get Pat Robertson's latest audiobook, The Shepherd King, The Life of David. Explore the life of one of the Bible's most beloved heroes. You'll discover how a humble shepherd rose to become the mighty king of Israel. His example can guide your life. David's prophetic voice can strengthen your faith. His spiritual insights can inspire you today. Plus, learn how David changed the course of history. Enjoy Pat Robertson's latest audiobook, The Shepherd King, The Life of David, when you become a CBN partner. You'll also receive After God's Own Heart, a 10-day devotional from the Psalms of David. Get this exclusive audiobook, The Shepherd King, The Life of David, and the devotional After God's Own Heart today. Audiobook includes streaming and download access. Available now.
Well, what an amazing week. I can't thank you guys enough. We've learned so many practical things. And ultimately, what we want people to hear is there's always hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is help out there too. Jen, what have you seen in people's lives when you've seen them become financially free, freed up from debt, in control of their finances?
Yeah, we've seen families change their lives, change the trajectory of where they're going, and changing the future for their children.
Right.
Yeah.
Changing the family tree
Absolutely.
for generations to come, right?
Do you find that for many, these were generational issues that we're not blaming all the parents and everything, but
it's been passed down.
Does that?
Yeah.
Well, more's caught than taught.
Yeah,
right?
habits and behaviors, they tend to repeat, right?
Right.
Yeah. And if you don't catch them and change them, it just kind of moves on.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they haven't learned, right? I love the story that you told us. Tell us about your son. He's 16.
Yeah.
And you were give me a little task there to plan a meal.
Yes.
Tell us what you did there.
Yeah, so I put Gabriel through life school this summer.
Okay.
And he had to create a menu for himself as a single guy for a week. And then he had to do the grocery shop in the virtual cart online. And he discovered that $160 was a lot of money for one guy for a week.
Right.
And challenged him to look for other ways to save. And so by having that plan, by making the menu, shopping what was on sale, getting rid of the name brand stuff out of the cart, he saved $60 in this lesson.
That's amazing. And what a great way for him to practically learn that.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys are all about, right?
Yeah.
You're giving people tools. You're teaching them how to take care of their finances, right, Mike?
Absolutely, 100%.
You don't do it for them?
No, because if we do it for them, it's that old, as you fish for someone, feed them for a day, teach them to fish, feed them for the rest of their lives.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
right. And that's what we've tried to do this week. Why don't we just pause and pray? Because I know a lot of you are feeling a bit overwhelmed, pressures of this life. Jesus, we just come to you now. We thank you so much. You care about money. And actually, money's a gift. And I pray for those watching that they would come to you with their financial burden, that they would learn to give and trust you. They would take the next step they need, and they too would experience the freedom in their finances that they can find. In Jesus' name, amen. So tell us again, we've talked all week, how to find you, Mike. How do we find you?
MoneyCoachMike.com. The challenge is where you'll get to actually work with us and coach with us. So MoneyCoachMike.com/find more money.
Find more money. That's Find More Money Challenge. If you haven't been watching all week, you will find more money. Believe it or not. Go to our YouTube channel, 700 Club Canada, to find all the shows. Last words, Jen?
Oh, you know what? Just take it on. Take it on. Take on the challenge. Refocus to your dreams and be like this one couple we worked with, Patty and Nick. And they changed their lives. They came through and had a baby.
Wow.
And then finished.
Wow.
And now, 18, 20 months later?
Debt-free.
They were debt-free.
Debt-free. Debt-free. There's the key word. Well, thanks for watching. We have free resources for you. Give us a call. We're here for you. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
To contact us, visit 700club.ca.
On the next 700 Club Canada, Superbook whisks the kids away to Samaria, where they watch Philip, Peter, and John teach a magician and his followers about the true power of the Holy Spirit.